Testing. Hello, everyone. Great to be live with you. Questions continue to swirl regarding the death of Barack Obama's personal chef, Tafari Campbell, 45 years old. What really happened to him? New photos of Barack Obama, first photos since the death, have surfaced. People are asking questions about those photos. But here's one question. People are circulating these photos of Barack and Michelle showing they love to be out in the water. People are just wondering, are they involved at all in the death of this man? His death was at their property. They'd spent years with this man. What really happened? You can see that Barack and Michelle love to kayak and be out on the water. The question being asked is, do you think that the local police should release the audio recordings of the 911 call made from Obama's home regarding Tafari Campbell's mysterious drowning? If it was anyone else besides the Obamas, every detail of the investigation would be news. The people deserve answers. Now, it's true, I've covered a lot of death mysteries, and it is true that 911 calls in, high-profile death mysteries are released. So hopefully they will be released. Now, let's look at the photos. But let me say something. This photo of Barack Obama is not even the creepiest thing to me. We're going to address this photo, but exclusive Daily Mail, the Barack Obama pictured playing golf while his wife Michelle hits the tennis court. So you can see these are the first photos. He was seen hitting the links at the Vineyard Golf Club on Friday as he mourns the loss of his personal chef, according to Daily Mail. People are looking at his hand being bandaged. Now, gossip on the internet is that he looks like he has a black eye as well. I don't think he looks like he has a black eye. I think that's just the shadowing in the photos. But, who knows? The bandaged hand, though, people are saying, was he in some sort of altercation that led to him being a part of this death somehow? I don't think so, because let's show an old article. This is 2015. Barack Obama playing golf back in 2015. Guess what? He has the same bandages. Turns out he bandages his hand when he's golfing. You can see the bandage right there. So let me just say something I find much creepier is something I'm going to dig into. Yeah, here you can see bandaged hand in this article from 2015. So I don't think that the bandages are any sort of evidence. Now, the Associated Press is making sure that people know the facts in this investigation. Fact is, no head trauma or suspicious circumstances in drowning of Obama's chef, police say. Fact focus, AP says. Reports are that this case is already closed. The investigation is closed, I read in the media coverage, even though toxicology report is pending. Toxicology, looking at what is in this man's blood, typically takes up to like 6 weeks. It takes forever. It's that way in every single case. And media is reporting that this case is closed even though toxicology is pending. Well, why not wait for that? Here's something that I found a little creepy, but it's still not the creepiest thing to me. The depth of Edgartown Great Pond. Okay, this is a pond where Tafari Campbell died. It's actually more of a bay of the ocean, really. There's a tiny sandbar that separates it from the ocean, so they're calling it a pond. Now, this is the MassachusettsPaddler.com. They say that the mean depth, like the average depth, is 3 to 4 feet. 3 to 4 feet. Very shallow. Okay, a man can easily stand about that. That's only the average depth, though. What's the maximum depth? Well, the maximum depth is blanked out. This website has just a blank mark for the maximum depth. Did someone come in and delete how deep this very shallow pond actually is? Well, it says the site says they haven't updated it since 2021. So I couldn't find the maximum depth on other websites. I was hunting around trying to find what is the maximum depth of this pond where the Obama staffer died. but it's clearly very shallow when its mean depth is 3 to 4 feet. But police investigating this death say that where Mr. Campbell died, he was at 8 feet depth. There, he was found at the bottom of the pond, 8 feet down, 100 feet out from the shore. That is where his body was found, according to police. Now, we have learned a little bit more about who he was with. We are told that the other person he's paddleboarding with was a fellow Obama staffer, a woman. New York Post says the second Obama staffer was paddleboarding with the ex-president's chef before he drowned, but we still don't know her identity. You can see there's Mr. Campbell himself with the president. He's interviewing, Obama's interviewing with NBC News, and Mr. Campbell's in the background making food. It says right here that 45-year-old's death doesn't appear to be suspicious based on evidence collected in the now closed probe. Toxicology report is pending. So that's where I'm getting it from, that the case is closed, according to New York Post, even though toxicology is pending. Where were the Obamas when this all went down? Well, all the news is reporting the Obamas were not there, nowhere to be found. Turns out the Obamas were in town. The Obamas were at Martha's Vineyard when Mr. Campbell died. They came forward and clarified later on, after all the media said they weren't around. Here is a paparazzi shot from the Daily Mail showing Barack and Michelle's daughters, Malia and Sasha, leaving Martha's Vineyard on Tuesday, 2 days after the chef's death. His body was found Monday. Day later on Tuesday, the Obama daughters are heading out of town. So the Obamas came forward, according to the Independent, later and said that, yes, actually, we were in town. We just weren't at the house. The Independent reporting, quote, however, the office of Barack and Michelle Obama later clarified that they were in Martha's Vineyard at the time, but were just not at the house when the tragedy unfolded. So Mr. Campbell, Tafari Campbell, he leaves behind a wife and 2 children. He actually lived in Virginia when he died, but he was up there, I'm sure, cooking for the Obamas when they were in town. He had been a White House chef from 2007 to 2016. So he actually started with the Bushes, that would mean. And then he was a sous chef. I guess that means he was second chef in command, and stayed as the chef all the way throughout Obama's tenure as president. And Obama liked him so much, he said, hey, do you want to ditch the White House and come with me? And he said, why? Yes, I do. So he was Obama's personal chef after that. So who was White House chef before that? Well, here's what I think is the creepiest part. Here's where my headline is getting at. There was a head chef at the White House from the 90s through 2005. Mr. Campbell comes in 2007. The chef who was White House chef through 2005 died the exact same way that Mr. Campbell did, by drowning. What are the odds that 2 White House chefs drown in very similar deaths? The White House chief chef was Walter Scheib from 1994 through 2005. I'm reading that Mr. Scheib was hand-selected by Hillary Clinton. She did not like the chef at the time. The chef he replaced told the media that he was ousted by Hillary Clinton, and she installed Mr. Walter Scheib. I have my thumbnail on this video shows a photo of Hillary and her personal chef, Walter Scheib. What are the odds that Walter Scheib later turns up dead in a drowning, and then Obama's chef dies in a drowning as well? So the details are a little eerie here. Newsweek is actually talking about this. Here's the photo. Hillary Clinton and her hand-selected chef who cooked for her and Bill Clinton. He was later fired by the Bushes, but he cooked for the Bushes for several years as well, Mr. Walter Scheib, before he drowned to death. Now let's look at how Mr. Scheib, the Clinton chef, died. Scheib, age 61, was reported missing June 16th of 2015. That was the year before Clinton was hoping to become president. Hillary Clinton was gearing up to be president when her chef died in a drowning. He was reported missing June 16, 2015 by his girlfriend after setting off on what authorities believe was a fishing trip 3 days earlier. His body was found submerged in a mountain drainage flowing with surface runoff, aka a river, about 25 yards from the Yerba Canyon Trail. It was hidden from view by dense vegetation and a steep rocky decline. Thunderstorms hit the area as Scheib made his way down the Lobo Peak Mountain. Incident Commander Richard Goldstein said that the water had been running very fast due to the weather. The last cellular signal from Scheib's phone was detected at 3 p.m. on June 13th, 3 days prior, with rescue workers using helicopters, dogs, and horses to assist in their search for the body. Police later said there was no indication that anyone else was involved in Scheib's death. He died alone hiking by falling in a river and drowning, is the official report of how the Clinton chef died. During a 2006 interview with the Washington Post about his work in the White House, Scheib said, "I loved working for the Bushes and the Clintons. It's the greatest honor a chef can have to work for the first families." And let me just show you how the New York Times covered the Clinton chef's strange death back when it happened in 2015. New York Times reports Walter Scheib, innovative former White House chef, is dead at 61. There he is. Walter Scheib brought a American cuisine prepared in a lighter style to the White House as its executive chef during the administrations of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Was found dead on Sunday near a hiking trail outside of Taos, New Mexico. He was 61. New York, the New Mexico Department of Public Safety, in a news release on its website Monday, said that state police discovered Mr. Scheib's body after a search that began last Tuesday when a family member reported him missing. No details on the cause of death were given. Mr. Scheib, who had recently moved to the area, started hiking alone June 13, in the mountains above Taos Ski Valley. The police organized a search and found his car in a parking area at the Yerba Canyon Trail north of Taos. 3 days later, according to the news release, the search area narrowed after cell phone records put Mr. Scheib's most recent location at a nearby mountain. On Sunday evening, searchers found his body in a river near the trail about 1.7 miles from the trailhead. Mr. Scheib was a relative unknown, the executive chef at the Greenbrier Resort and Spa in West Virginia, when Hillary Clinton picked him from a pool of applicants to replace Pierre Chambrin, a White House chef, in April of 94. Mr. Chambrin, a Frenchman, told the press that he had left his post under pressure from the Clintons, who denied the accusations. So the Clintons ousted the old guy, and Hillary handpicked Mr. Scheib, who later died. And I know there's a lot of talk of how many Clinton associates are dead. You know, how many people do you know that die in these freak cases, just strange ways of dying? This chef of the Clintons dies alone in a river. Apparently he somehow slipped and fell in a river and drowned. Was found 3 days later, which could be, you know, freak accidents happen, but freak accident after freak accident after freak accident, people start to ask questions. And so that's where the conspiracy theories form. So I'm just laying out all the facts and acknowledging that your conspiracy theories are probably for good reason, because, you know, it's all very strange, and it would be true that, you know, a chef cooking for a family for that many years would know a lot of the family's secrets. So that's why people theorize, did the chef actually get killed because he knew too many secrets? You know, and then the fact that Obama's chef dies the exact same way, through drowning. after spending many years with the Obamas. So Tafari Campbell was cooking for the Obamas from 2008 until 2023. That is a long time. It's a lot of FaceTime around one family. That's a lot of family secrets he knew. So people are just wondering, was he killed? People just want to know, was this man killed? And so I think the questions are legitimate. And right now, it's looking all natural. So we'll just have to wait and see. Checking your comments since this is a live stream. Okay, Clinton body count is uncountable at this point. There's just so many. Well, the other one that I was highlighting this year was the Clinton and Obama staffer who died of airplane turbulence. Who dies of airplane turbulence, and then that got a lot of press that like she's the first person in history to die of airplane turbulence. It's a little hard to believe. So then the story changed. Oh no, it wasn't actually turbulence. The pilot moved some lever. It's the pilot's fault. The pilot made the plane go, really dramatically up and down. Yet she's the only one who had it. Nobody else even had an injury, but she's dead. And we're supposed to believe it. So it's these strange deaths after strange deaths. Checking out your comments. So the Bushes ended up firing this man who later drowned because apparently they didn't like the way he cooked. So the Clintons and Bushes have very different taste, and George Bush was like, keep it simple. I want it either fried or baked, lots of flavor. And it was just different than how he cooked for the Clintons. So they ended up firing him. Checking the rest of your comments. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys know anyone else who tapes their fingers when they golf? I mean, I'm getting into golf and it's a little hard on my hand, but I think it's just I have bad form right now and I'm activating the wrong muscles and tendons and it's straining some tendons in my hands. So I need to actually schedule a golf lesson to figure out what I'm doing wrong. But I'm enjoying getting into golf. But yeah, so the whole bandaged hand thing with Obama, I'm not buying it. I think that people are jumping the gun on. I think that's just a conspiracy theory that is run amok. But I think there are a lot of legitimate questions, but the whole bandaged hand thing, like, no, I don't think Obama had a fist fight with Tafari Campbell. Okay. Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat. You are loved. Thank you for the kind words. That means a lot. Okay. Jay is saying that Tiger Woods tapes his fingers. There you go. Marin is saying it's very common for girls to be bad at golf. Pretty much. He said girls. Girls usually do that. Okay. Well, there you go. I swing like a girl. I need to get lessons. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good one.